I know sometimes it's hard for you to clearly see just how you're gonna keep it together. Your obligations and responsibilities, how you gonna meet them ends, how you gonna make it one more time. Now let's hear the truth of it. You are much, much more than this. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the light lighting up the world. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? In you there's no darkness. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the bread, you're the wine, the word. Haven't you heard? Oh, haven't you heard? You're the light of the universe. Yes, you are. La 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 la. I know sometimes it's hard to hold your head up high and show the world you got it together. You think of things that make you wanna run and hide. Who would love you if they knew who you're? Who could you trust to understand? Now let's hear the truth of it. You are loved much more than this. Haven't you heard? Oh, haven't you heard? You're the light lighting up the world. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? In you there's no darkness. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the bread, you're the wine, the word. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the light of the universe. You're not the things you have done. You're not the words that you said, or the heartache that you're going through. Oh, you are the bright of the sun. You are the glow of the moon. And in your presence, the things that seem dark fade away, away, away. Haven't you heard? And you're the light lighting up the world. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? In you there's no darkness. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the bread, you're the wine, the word. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? You're the light of the universe. You're the light lighting up the world. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Open Heart Spiritual Center virtual service. Thank you for joining us today, this wonderful, magnificent, beautiful day. We're so grateful to have you. And if you'll join me in just taking a breath in and releasing this breath, releasing all that has come before this time. Release it and let it go. Be present, be here and now. And just join me here as we just bless this service, bless all that play a part in today's service, all that have a part in today's service. The beautiful music, the affirmative reading, and the message. Yes, the message. And let us just open our hearts up to allow our message to pour right on in, pour right into your heart, and to take forth with you from this day what it is that you're here to know. What are you here to know? And I just greet you, I bless you, and I see the God in you. And let this celebration begin. And so it is.
All right, here we go. All right. Okay. I ain't got my remote.
So do you have to hold that or?
Here we go.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I'm blessed. Freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and that's holy as it should. I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And so it feels good to know all is well and that's holy as it should. All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. I am cloaked in the Spirit. I am fed by love divine. I am one with all there is. My soul is in time. I am blessed, and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that? Don't it feel good? Just to know that my soul is free from time. All I gotta do is change my mind. I'm free. Don't it feel good? And I'm falling and it should. All right. That's it, y'all. She's done. All right.
What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Good morning and welcome to our Heartstream for this Sunday, October the 27th, the last Sunday in the month of October. Several things I'd like to talk about with you today. Last Sunday I announced that I would be stepping into the role of Pastor Unity Christian Church of Memphis. I'm going to say not yet. There's still some things that we have to work out with their parent organization, and so we're getting all of that in order. But I will be speaking there. First of all, I will be speaking there on next Sunday, which will be November the 3rd at 11 a.m. I will be back again on Sunday, November the 24th. And then finally, I'll be back again on Sunday, December the 1st. So those are opportunities for us to gather with our friends from Unity Christian Church of Memphis. But not only that, today they are celebrating their 72nd anniversary, their 72nd church anniversary. At their service today, the Reverend Monty Davis will be the speaker, and she has ties to the founding family of UCCM, and it's going to be a great occasion. They're inviting us to come out and to share with them. We're going to have a fellowship afterwards, so it's a great opportunity for us. If you'd like to be there, it will be great. And I will again keep you posted with information about what's going on as we move forward. I'd like to also say again, thank you to all of you who contribute to Open Heart. Your support is always important, and those of you who have not contributed or maybe have lapsed in your giving, this is a great opportunity to do so. There are things that we need to take care of from a financial standpoint, and your contributions help. Your contributions go a long way in making those things happen. In addition to all of that, you're sharing the message. You're letting people know about the fact that we are having our Heartstream each week. You're sharing the notifications about the Heartstream. If you are on Facebook, you can also share the actual stream as it is taking place. That is something that I do each week, and it helps for people who may not subscribe to or follow the Facebook page, but they see it showing up on my page and they tune in. And as always, I greet you, I bless you, I see God in you.
Our affirmation for the month of October. Today I live. Yesterday is not. Tomorrow is not, but today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today I live. Amen, Ashe, and so it is.
Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day.
There will be mountains that I will have to climb, and there will be battles that I will have to fight. But victory or defeat, it's up to me to decide. But how can I expect to win if I never try? I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe I've come this far to be defeated. Never said there wouldn't be trials. Never said I wouldn't fall. Never said that everything would go the way I wanted to go. But when my back's against the wall and I feel all hope is gone, I lift my head up to the sky and say, help me to be strong. I just can't give up now. No. too far from where I started from. I've come too far. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe I've come this far to be defeated. I know that I can't see the road that's led before me, but I can't let doubt defeat me, because I know that you are with me. So I just can't give up now. I can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe I've come this far to be defeated. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe I've come this far to be defeated. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. I've come too far. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe I've come this far. 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 I don't believe I've come this far to be defeated.
Well, good morning. This is one of those days when there's a lot that has happened way before things began. At this point, got to this point, actually, I should say. And it would be on this day that my computer would decide to freeze. So I'm actually coming to you live from my cell phone, and I'm grateful and thankful for technology and for the opportunity to, even in the midst of all that has happened today, to be able to do this message this morning. And again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Heartstream, and it's great for to be there. But before I get started or dive into the message, I would like to say that also this morning I received a text from Joanne Joyner that Jasper Joyner's book, Pansy, and we had announcements about it, about the talk and the book signing that took place on last Saturday. I had the opportunity, the pleasure to go and to see them as they shared about this memoir. And but it has been chosen as one of the 2024 books for Publishers Weekly in the memoir category, one of the as the best book. And so I want to say again, congratulations to Jasper Joyner and congratulate them. And one thing I'm proud of, I've not had a chance to read the entire book because most of my reading these days are reading student assignments. But I will say that Open Heart got a shout out in the book, a positive shout out, because a part of what we have tried to do from our very beginning is to be an inclusive community. And that inclusivity was something that is mentioned and talked about in the book. So I'm grateful and thankful for that. So here we are at the point of our message for this morning. And I live, today I live, which is actually from Ernest Holmes, a quote from Ernest Holmes. And as I said in the message that I sent out for announcing the Heartstream this morning, that we're in anxious times. We live in an anxious world. We've got election anxiety. We've got war anxiety. We've got information anxiety. There's so much that is happening that can cause us to feel anxious. I know I'm feeling it. And I know that as I talk with people and I move about and are around, I also encounter that with other people. And as I was thinking about that and even in putting together the theme for the month, Today I Live, and the affirmation and thinking about all that that means, the fact that in taking today and moving in from a place of anxiety into a place where we can find relief, to a place where we can establish ourselves in such a way that things contribute to our sense of well-being. And to know that the affirmation says, today I live. Yesterday is not, tomorrow is not, but today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today I live. And so as I think about that, I think about the fact that oftentimes when we feel ourselves being anxious, when we feel ourselves feeling as if we've had the energy sucked out of us, because that's one of the things I also mentioned in the message, the text that I sent out, reminding people about this morning's Heartstream, the fact that the energy can get sucked out of us because of the anxiety that we feel and all of the things that are happening. And I think there's several things that I want to say about all of this morning. The first, that this can happen, we can find ourselves in this state of anxiety when we give our power away. When we give our power away. I can think about one time when I had a phone call from a friend who was in a relationship that she found was painful, found was hurtful, and she didn't want to be in it anymore. She asked me, how did I get to this place? How did I get here? And I said to her, it's because you gave your power away. You thought that this person was going to be the best thing going. And even though there were red flags, even though there were signs, you were constantly giving over to this person, constantly allowing this person to do the things that they were able to do and to get away with them. So you were giving your power away. And one of the things that I think is important for us to remember is that when we make someone or something else outside of ourselves more important than our own selves, more important than our own well-being, our own integrity, we are giving power away. And there's so many ways in which we give power away. We give power to lovers, to money, to bosses, to addictive substances, to fame, to dream homes, to religious dogma, to religious figures, to parents, to children, to lawyers, teachers, politicians, sports figures, movie and TV stars, gorgeous people, so many things, you name it, we give our power away. And the thing that we have to realize and pay attention to is that anytime, any experience that leaves us feeling less than or needy, it does so for one reason, and that's because we have entered into feeling empty and feeling needy because it was already there, and the situation just ultimately only magnified it. And as we recognize and realize this, then we see how it is that we end up giving our power away. Remember, as within, so without. If we're feeling empty, if we're feeling needy, if we're feeling like we're not quite up to par, things don't quite match for us, then we will find situations and circumstances and attract those things to us, attract those people to us that just reinforce it, that just make it stronger. But it begins with us, and it also can end with us. But there are a few more ways in which we give our power away, in which we can enter into these anxious states and find ourselves there. And I want to talk about that. An important thing too, the second way is that we put people on a pedestal. We put people on a pedestal. Over the years as a pastor, I've said to the congregations where I have served as a pastor to not put me on the pedestal, because when that happens, when you do, that just gives me a lot farther to fall. And I think that that's important because we live in the day and time in the society. It's ultimately really nothing new, but where we have, superstar preachers where, you can see them on social media with these hordes of people that are listening to their every word and those things that they say and all of that, and how many of them, even have the trappings of what we consider to be fame and success, their own private jets and cars and everything else and all of that, but putting people on a pedestal. And it's not just religious figures or pastors or preachers, but even entertainers, even politicians, but all of that, putting them on a pedestal. And when we do, we again make something outside of ourselves more important. And that can lead to anxiety, particularly when things begin to happen with these figures and all of that, when those things happen. Another way in which we can find ourselves having the energy sucked out of us is by imitating instead of creating. That's right, I said it. Imitating instead of creating. Because creativity is as much a muscle as the heart is. And when we understand that creativity is no less vital than the heart. And our fortune is not something that happens to us, but it's something that we create. When we begin to recognize that we have the opportunity to move past imitation and move into creation, because oftentimes we are find ourselves in copycat environments where you see someone doing something in social media or on one side of town or something else, and then everybody else has to repeat, everybody else has to follow. But it's important at some point to recognize that we are endowed and imbued with this creative ability, this creative impulse that is within us, because we are reflections of the divine. We are reflections of that which has created and continues to create. And when we line up with this creativity, we can make things happen. We can have things happen for us. The next way in which we ultimately end up finding ourselves being mired in a situation of anxiety, being mired in these kinds of feelings and thoughts that come around, is when we don't listen to our intuition. When we don't listen to our intuition, that we have access to an impeccable wisdom all of the time, all of the time. There's wisdom that lets us know that when something's not right. There's that wisdom that we have, and I've talked about it over the years, but there's that divine wisdom that helps us to understand that intuition. That's something that we don't listen to. And when we don't listen to it, then we find ourselves in trouble. When we don't listen to it, I think about Gavin de Becker's book, The Gift of Fear, how fear can be a gift. That when we find ourselves in situations that are fearful situations, not these anxiety filled ones, but for example, when we are getting ready to walk in spaces or we encounter people or things like that, and something goes up in our minds, people sometimes jokingly refer to it as our spidey sense or Spider-Man. But when something tells us it's just not right, to listen to those things, to listen to our intuition, to listen to our inner guidance, to listen and pay attention to that. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. There is that impulse that is within us, and it always knows. It always knows. Another way that we get mired in anxiety and find ourselves stuck in the muck and mire of anxiety is when we let others choose for us. We let other people choose for us. If we don't choose, if we don't use our minds, someone else will. If we don't use our minds, someone else will. We understand that when we don't use our minds, when we allow other people to take control of our minds, to control our thoughts, control the things that the ways in which we think, control the ways in which we respond and react to things. When we do not use our minds, someone else will. We have the control over the castle of our minds. And again, we are able to do that when we take control, when we see ourselves moving in this direction of just being alert, being present, being available. And as we do these things, we begin to understand how those things can move out of our way. And then the final thing is that we think our destiny depends on something outside of ourselves. The Buddha asked, if you don't get it from yourself, where will you get it from? There was a television show years ago that was called Northern Exposure. It's an old show. And some of you may remember that show, but there was a particular scene in that show, in that episode, in that show where there's a woman named Shelley. And this will tell you how long ago it was. She got a chain letter in the mail that said, if you send this, no, don't break the chain. If you send this letter off to some people, you will find that you will have good fortune, good experience. But if you break the chain, then bad things will happen. Well, Shelley decided, okay, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take the chance and send this off to a friend of mine. So she took the letter. She went down to the post office. She handed the letter to the postal clerk. She went back home. And sure enough, positive things began happening to her. Things began going well for her. Things began working out in her way. And as she saw those things happening, she was so elated. She knew, well, finally, this chain letter worked. I saw that, this made all of these things happen. The next week, she returned to the post office. And as she walked in, the clerk pulled her letter out, said, I'm so glad you came back in. I wasn't able to send the letter off because you didn't have enough postage on it. So all of a sudden, Shelley realized that while she thought that it was the letter itself that had brought about the good fortune, brought about the things that had happened positive in her life, it ultimately was within her. And that is the thing, that when we start understanding and recognizing and realizing that we are the creators of our lives, that we are the people who, as we put forth into being these processes, these teachings, these things that I talk about to us each and every week. And as we do these things and we make these things a part of our daily lives and our daily way of being, we can move again out of being stuck in the muck of anxiety and mired in anxiety and move into a greater yet to be. So I'd like to end with several things about that. And I think being intentional, first of all, about starting our day as we get up in the morning, rather than reaching for the phone to see, what kinds of things came in at last night or everything like that, taking the time to meditate, taking the time to pray, taking the time to just be in that space and that place where we are grateful for all that is guiding and directing us and all that we do, that as we move into this awareness and move into this place of being. The second thing is to take some time to write it down. Write down our gratitude. Write down even those things, getting those things out that might be causing us anxiety. Sometimes when we just write it down, get it out, it makes us feel better. Things happen better for us. And that is important. The next thing is exercise. Whether it is walking, you might even walk around the house, whether it's going out, formally walking. I get up in the morning, I have a rowing machine, and I get on my rower. And I have routines that I follow. But it's just getting that energy moving, that energy flowing, and even that anxious energy, working it out as we do those things. The next thing is taking the time to put some positive things into our minds, into our head. That can come through the things that we read, reading books that are helpful, motivating, and uplifting to us. There's so many audios that are out there. If you go to YouTube, you can find people that are offering things that are motivational and inspirational. You can even go to Open Heart Spiritual Center's YouTube channel and watch some of our past Heartstreams, find inspiration there, find inspiration in the music, find inspiration in the people who offer things that uplift us in the things that we do, and that being a part of it as well. And again, expressing gratitude. Each day, I do this before I go to bed, as I go to bed at night, and as I'm drifting off to sleep. Before I drift off to sleep, I find 3 things for the day that I'm grateful for. And then I just, say to myself, I'm grateful for these things. Sometimes it will be more than 3, but I'm finding always, so sometimes it can be something very simple. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be spectacular or momentous. Sometimes it might be a treat that I ate that day. It might be a kind word that someone said. It might be, I'm a great cat lover. And sometimes I'll look out my front porch and I'll see a cat just relaxing and lounging on the porch or on our porch swing. And just the joy and just seeing the cat feeling safe in this particular environment will be something I'm grateful and thankful for. But there's so many ways, so many things that we can do that will bring us out of this state of anxiety, bring us out of this, just all of the things that are going on. And I think probably I should have said this, and I said I was ending, and preachers say they're ending, they don't end, but I'll say this. Be careful about the things that we take in terms of the information and the news. Sometimes just turning it off, sometimes just moving beyond it can do wonders, work wonders for alleviating some of the anxiety that many of us feel. And we are in election season. You know me, I don't tell people who to vote for, but I do say vote. So please vote, exercise your right to vote. And I'm ending with the affirmation for this month. Today I live, yesterday is not, tomorrow is not, but today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today I live. Amen. Ashe. And so it is.
Just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath, then let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. Wondering if you should cross that line for good. Whatever you decide, ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what will love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we die for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. doesn't matter just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do? Sing it from inside with me, y'all. What would love do now? Let me hear you sing it, people.
What would love do now?
Sing it one more time for me, y'all.
What would love
Do now. Thank you.